Hi guys, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. Hi guys, today we are talking about Umtata Court in the Eastern Cape. Umtata is one of the busiest courts in the Eastern Cape province. There's a lot going on there, not just for criminal activities, for divorce, for whatever. There's a lot of things that are happening in that court, in that High Court of Eastern Cape. Umtata is one of the biggest. Why are we hearing news now that there is corruption that is happening? Like in South Africa, we will never get rest, ne? Everything is embroidered with corruption. Everything. Everything where there is a government official. It's not funny, but I am laughing. But wow, guys. So anyway, this is what I heard on the news yesterday via Newsroom Africa. And then now I also read something from Daily Maverick that wrote an article 2 days ago. Let me read this so that you can get context of what I want to talk about. Because wow, Mtata High Court officials solicit bribes to do their jobs investigation reveals. Now they get paid by government for being employed and being public servants. They also take bribes from sides from people, force people to pay them money in order for them to do their job. Like, guys, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Wow. And it sounds as if it's a normal thing there by Tata High Court to happen. Anyway, this is what they are saying. An investigation by the Southern African Accountability Journalism Project has corroborated allegations of systemic corruption at the Eastern Cape Division of the High Court in Mthatha, where court officials solicit bribes, some as high as 15,000, from attorneys to perform routine administrative functions. Aibo, guys. Attorneys attempting to perform routine administrative functions at the Eastern Cape Division of the High Court in Mthatha allege that court officials are soliciting bribes, some as high as 15,000, to do tasks that should be part of their normal jobs. The allegations were first detailed in an anonymous December 2024 letter to the Eastern Cape's acting judge president Zamani Hlangulela and then acting deputy president Bantu Bonke Tokota. Despite the seriousness of the allegations, neither judge responded to our request for comment, which were first sent via email on 24th March. It is unclear what their response to the December 2024 letter was and whether they have taken action. Chief Justice Mandisa Maya was copied in our query, and her spokesperson Lindo Kuhle acknowledged receipt. He said the Office of the Chief Justice has zero tolerance for fraud and corruption, and that it treats complaints pertaining to these with seriousness, urgency, and sensitivity. He did not say, however, what the Chief Justice was doing specifically in response to the complaint against officials from the Mthatha High Court. We depend on all stakeholders in the fight against fraud and corruption, including the media. So act in a manner that safeguards the integrity of the processing of legitimate complaints, he said. Though the complaint letter was penned and sent anonymously, its content suggests that the author has a working knowledge of the court's process and of the specific staff of the court's processes and of specific staff in key administrative roles there. It was leaked to the reporters by a judge with knowledge of the matter. Its details have not been published before today. The letter alleges that Mthatha High Court officials demand cash bribes from attorneys to tasks that they are already paid to perform as part of their jobs. Many of these tasks are fundamental to the legal process, and withholding them has the potential to harm people who approach the courts for relief in cases as wide-ranging as contractual wrangles, wrongful dismissals, unlawful evictions, motor vehicle accidents, medical malpractice, defamation, divorce, unpaid child support, or the need for a protection order in domestic abuse cases. Bethunana. Kwenzeka ntoni eSouth Africa? Jesus. According to the letter, the duties being held ransom include retrieving supposedly missing case files at a cost of 2,000 per file, allocating court dates at a cost of up to 15,000 per date, transcribing court orders, 5,000 rand, and expediting the taxation of legal costs, 15,000 rands. The letter named 9 officials accused of extorting bribes. These officials work in various departments and range from junior typists to senior managers. They include the court's registrar, Babalwa Sidima. One of the 8 officials, a junior typist named alongside Sidima, has apparently resigned and could not be traced, but reporters sent WhatsApp and emails to the 7 other officials and asked for their responses to the allegations and to being named in the letter. None responded. Sidima acknowledges our queries. She called to say she and her colleagues were advised not to speak to us and referred queries to the Office of the Chief Justice. Having studied the complaint, reporters with the AJP approached the interviewed 21 attorneys and advocates with regular dealings with the Mthatha High Court, where they represent clients in civil cases. Each one in turn or confirmed that they were aware of the alleged racket. It is blatant and it is an open secret. Everyone knows about it, one attorney said. Some attorneys told us that firms who likely pay bribes can be identified as those who regularly and quickly receive court dates. Well-resourced firms, they said, will pay bribes to secure an advantage in getting case enrolled. This allegation is also contained in the letter of complaint to the acting judge president, which claims that an official working in the court's case flow management's office will also favor certain firms over others based on their ability to pay them this money. That is why certain firms usually dominate the trial, motion, and default roles. A sensory examination of Mthatha court roles suggests that some firms are indeed getting many more court dates than others. We spoke to some attorneys at these firms, but nobody would admit to paying bribes, though they acknowledge that they were aware of the bribery racket operating at the court. Like the letter writer, all the attorneys we spoke to insisted on anonymity. We understood the reticence of practitioners to be named for speaking out on the record on this issue is because of concern they may be ostracized by their colleagues in the legal profession and even victimized by court officials with the power to withhold court dates in their matters or leave their files unattended. Still, rich details emerge from these interviews. One Mthatha advocate who has represented high-profile clients told us that attorneys instructing him sometimes complain that they are unable to secure dates because officials are soliciting bribes from them. He recalled one attorney who paid a bribe only to be denied a date again. We were still not getting a date, he said, suspecting that the court official in charge of allocating these dates was holding out for more money. Another advocate recalled the despair of a small-town attorney who was instructing him when he informed this attorney that the case was not yet ready and that they would need to seek out a later court date. The attorney became despondent. Where will I get another 3,000 to pay for the allocating of the new date? The advocate recalled the attorney asking. Yet such brazen extortions is rarely reported. A theme that emerged from our interviews is that attorneys are acutely aware of the power that corruption officials can wield with potential negative impacts for the attorney's respective practices if they balk at paying the bribe or choose to report it. This may well explain to why the author of the letter to the judge president chose anonymity. People are scared of being victimized. They complain in the corridors, but never formally, one lawyer explained. Decades in the making, but still no action. Still, when things get bad enough, there have been instances in past years when attorneys have spoken up. The December letter says the corruption has been happening for some time now, but that it recently spiraled out of control. Advocates and attorneys interviewed by the Southern Africa Accountability Journalism Project, reporters said that some level of corruption and bribery has been part of Mthatha court processes almost for as long as they can remember, as far back as the mid-2000s at least, said one attorney with a long history at the court. That same attorney said his colleagues had been solicited for a bribe just the week prior to being interviewed by a reporter. He recalled a specific complaint from attorneys sent to the then acting judge president in Mthatha, Judge Zweli Dingabeko. Back then, the attorneys complained that then registrar wanted gift of squadron RAM before doing crucial tasks that they were already employed to perform. At least two other attorneys we spoke to recalled the complaints about the registrar's RAM bribes. One also recalled a specific court officials who had a penchant for stealing law books from the court's library to sell to local attorneys at a discount on the retail price. The other said the selling of trial dates at Mthatha High Court has a history reaching back as at least 2 decades. The reporters could find no public record of action against officials despite this, but some of the attorneys we interviewed held out hope that the December letter increased awareness about corruption at the court could see the tide turning. Please find a way to sensitize the public that the truth about corruption has been revealed, a senior court official implored us during an interview. The perpetrators will soon face the music, the official said. Unequal justice. Most of the cases being held hostage by alleged corrupt officials at the Mthatha High Court relate to civil litigation. The letter referred to roles exclusively relevant to civil cases. At Mthatha, the load of such cases is particularly heavy compared to other high courts in the Eastern Cape. It handles mostly 40%, more than 5,000 such cases of the province civil case load annually. Mthatha High Court also serves the largest Eastern Cape district, OR Tambo's 1.5 million people. The civil cases brought to court by attorneys in Mthatha often involve litigants who are among the poorest or most vulnerable people in the province. The rot in the system affects members of the public the most. Very often, their livelihoods depend on the orders a court must hand down, said the advocate, whose instructing attorney blamed his inability to secure trial dates on the solicitation of bribes. An East London-based attorney agreed if one party can get a date so quickly with a couple of months when everybody else must wait for years to get a date, then that's unfair. Then justice is not equitable for everybody. Much of the court's civil case load consists of road accident funds claims. These matters can clog up the court roll and create backlogs and long delays before new cases are given court dates. The scarcity of court dates makes it perfect fodder for a corrupt trade. You have to pay bribes if you want to get your matters on the roll, one attorney said, adding that a trial date in 2025 is considered unattainable unless you pay. Suddenly, you see a document with trial date in May. How is this possible? He asked, implying that it could only be that certain attorney had paid a bribe for the date. Several people interviewed noted that junior attorneys are often used as go-betweens for bribes to shield senior lawyers from implicating themselves. Also, new firms are reportedly targeted more aggressively. They are under pressure to build reputation and finalize cases, one attorney said. Sure. Guys, this is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad, guys. So people are not doing their job. All they want is to be bribed for them to perform their duties. This is bad. This is bad. Ha! And this corruption, apparently, allegedly, it's been happening for plus minus 20 years. True. Hi, son. So they've been exposed now. I wonder if there is going to be any changes or what, but it is what it is. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. I thought let me just give you heads up about that so that you guys can hear things that are happening around the country. Anyway, thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.